I'm here for Route 66, the most famous road in the world. How many other roads do you know that people sing about? And it's just one of those magical places that you always long to see. Ever since I was a wee boy in Glasgow, I fantasised about getting my kicks on Route 66.
Oh my God!
To me, it was a magic trail heading west through the heart of America into the land of broken dreams and Hollywood endings. The highway that built a continent, defined a nation, running from Chicago to LA. Route 66 is the story of America written by the people for the people. Over 8 states and 2,500 miles.
I love that.
It's a tale in tarmac of presidents and paupers, cowboys and Indians, diners and drive-thrus, framed in a landscape from 100 movies with the soundtrack of the greatest music in the world, rock and roll. Sounds good, doesn't it? Oh my God. Whoa! We're going to have lots of fun, meet lots of people, see lots of nice things. Come with me. Let's take a walk on the wrong side.
Well, it goes from St. Louis, John, Missouri, Oklahoma City looks so pretty, you see. Amarillo, Gallup, New Mexico. Flagstaff, Arizona, don't forget Winona, Kingsman, Moscow, San Bernardino. Won't you get your kicks on Route 66?
This week I'm heading into the wide open spaces and the big, big skies of the Cowboy States.
See that?
It's hundreds of miles of steers, the queer,
Isn't it good?
and just plain crazy. But that's only part of the story. This land is full of atomic secrets. This is actually hell. Ghost towns.
Be with you in a minute, sir. Madam.
And a magic whistle. And if you think you know this place from a lifetime of John Wayne movies, think again.
This place, I wish you were here. I wish you could see it.
Starting in Oklahoma, I'm going to plow 700 miles through Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona before making a 150-mile detour north into ancient Navajo land and Monument Valley. But first...
Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain, and the waving wheat can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain. Oh,
Well, that's quite enough of that. But yes, I'm in Oklahoma where the wind really does come crashing down the plain and the cattle outnumber humans by almost 2 to 1. This is the face of modern cowboy country. Ranch hands from New York, dreadlocks, baseball hats and low-slung jeans. It's refreshing, but I'm secretly pleased that Stan Manishrek, the owner of this ranch, is still a proud bearer of a 10-gallon hat.
Well done, guys.
We're on our way.
Oh, great. I'll go round to the other
Okay,
side.
sounds good to me.
And we are going, literally, on a cattle drive.
I love the way those 2 boys work the cattle.
Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good boys. They work hard and they do a good job. And it's hard to find people who work on the farm.
There it is.
This is a nice way to make a living. It's not a good way to make a living. You don't make a lot of money, but it's the best life in the world.
Yeah. Takes a bit of driving this thing, doesn't it?
No, I'm not very good at it. They talk about gear grinders. I'm a grinder. I don't do very good.
Apparently cows create so much methane when they fart, they cause more harm to the ozone layer than cars. I mention this because there's a constant emission of gas, fluid and effluents going on behind us, with potentially explosive consequences for those standing roadside.
Up here at this toll booth, we go through there and we'll pay. And generally, if they have any experience with these cattle, the minute you get through paying, that window goes up. Oh, I mean, you'll see them slam that window closed. Thank you. Okay. See that window come out? Huh?
That was great. She's been down this road before.
Yeah.
An hour later, we reach our destination, Oklahoma City Stockyards.
Come on, come on, come on.
There goes 25 grand's worth of steer and who knows how many burgers. These stockyards are the biggest in the world, known locally as Cowtown. They've been here since 1910 and process up to 18,000 head of cattle a day.
It's a town within a city. It's a bit like the Vatican, really. It rules itself. And the city would love to get rid of it because of the smell and the effluent and the noise and all that. Poor things, they're going to be hamburgers soon. That means, honest, I'll be good. Don't send me to be sold. I'll be a really good boy if you just let me live. Poor old things, they've got no balls or anything. You ever heard anything like that in your life?
148!
That's what I sounded like to English audiences when I first came from Scotland. That's what I sounded like to Edinburgh audiences when I first came for Glasgow.
I can't begin to tell you what he's saying, but this is serious business. Oklahoma is currently suffering a drought of the same magnitude, if not worse, than the one that saw the state turn into a dust bowl during the Great Depression. And the only way that the farmers and ranchers let stand can survive is by using cutting-edge farming techniques, which cost money. So every word that's being said here counts. I loved that. It was like listening to bluegrass banjo. But now it's time to leave Oklahoma.
The mama pajama rolled out of bed and she ran to the police station.
So here it is, the Route 66 of my imagination. Long, straight roads, big skies, and bigger distances to travel.
It was against the law, or what the mama saw. It was against the law.
My next stop is 200 miles away over the border in Texas, where everything, even religion, is bigger.
That's the biggest crucifix in the Western Hemisphere.
Well, I'm on my way.
I wonder what height they thought Jesus was.
I'm on my way.
Judging by that, he must have been about 42 feet high.
Sing the Queen of Corona.
It's a funny place, Texas. Not only did they vote George W. Bush into public office, there are also 102 registered Elvis impersonators working there at any given time. Not a good run of claims to fame, but that could be about to change because I'm heading for the tiny town of McLean. Stuck in the middle of nowhere with very little to do, the town has put itself firmly on the map as a must-see for one simple reason.
This is a museum to barbed wire. That may sound daft if you don't live in Texas or if you don't live in the West. But barbed wire, or the devil's rope as they called it, was invented by a man called Samuel Glidden. A lot of people wished him dead because before that, the whole West was free range for cattle, free grazing. You could drove your cattle over hundreds of miles just eating as they went. But then people started putting up barbed wire and lining off their land, especially if they had water, because that way they could stop the whole herd in its tracks and charge for the water. And it caused range wars, caused a lot of death, a lot of fighting, a lot of terrible arguing. It doesn't have a good history, barbed wire. Come on in, we'll have a wee look. Oh, here we go, here we go. Now just hold your excitement. I'm going to take you over to the barbed wire splices. There's the stuff that you know so well from the L-shaped cut on your khaki shorts as you're escaping from the orchard with your jumper full of apples. And the guy's shouting, "Come back here, you bunch of bastards." That's what causes it. They're khaki cutters. I always wondered why it made such a right-angled cut. You would think it would just tear it. But oh, there's more over there. I'll spare you the agony. Oh, here's the First World War barbed wire. German. This says, "Welcome to our trenches." English military wire. Now you'll notice there's more spaces in between the barbs. A gentler race of people. Come and have a cup of tea, this suggests. Now the German one suggests, which sounds a bit like German too, doesn't it? Isn't that a coincidence? And that's how we see the roots of German language. As the barbs go through your serge trousers in a million L-shaped scars.
Who would have thought barbed wire could be so much fun?
Every night I've been hugging my pillow, dreaming dreams of Amarillo, that sweet Marie who waits for me. Sha-la-la-la-la-la.
There are two things worth noting about Amarillo, Texas. The first one is that no one here has ever heard the song "Is This the Way to Amarillo?"
And Marie who waits for me.
And the second is this, the Cadillac Ranch. It's the brainchild of Stanley Marsh III, a millionaire eccentric, and they are as an iconic piece of art as Andy Warhol's tin of Campbell's soup. And just like those tins of soup, you can treat it as seriously or as silly as you want.
He did it in the 70s to represent the American love of the automobile and the freedom that it brought them. For reasons best known to himself, they're perched at an angle exactly the same to the Great Pyramid of Giza. I don't know why that should be, you'll have to ask him. But he encourages people to graffiti on them, to repaint them, to whatever you care to call it, he encourages it. And I'm going to do it. And every now and again, apparently, he recoats them to give you a clean canvas. The public can start again doing whatever they like on it. To make love to me, I know will never be Billy Connolly. What? How in the name of God did that? He must have come and done that. Imagine having my name on it, that's freakish. Billy plus Amarillo, Billy C. This has been prepared for me. What a lucky chap I am. Look at it along that way. Isn't it good? How very weird, it's really knocked me off my balance. I might as well say hello to him. I've never graffitied before, it's great fun, I'm not surprised people do it. It's the last thing on earth I ever thought was that the Cadillac Ranch would be a shrine to me. I've had a lovely time. I think I'll do it in Scotland with bicycles.
Mother, mother, there's too many of you crying. But brother, brother, there's far too many of you dying.
There it goes, the Midpoint Cafe, the halfway point of Route 66.
To bring some loving here today. Yeah.
And with 1,300 miles to go before I reach LA, I can't hang around.
We don't need to escalate. You see, war is
I've started to notice something though. The further west I travel, the lonelier and more isolated the towns become.
you know we've got to find a way.
And there's a reason for that. When the new interstate highways were built, all these towns on Route 66 were simply cut off from the rest of the world.
And pick it sides.
Some survived, others, like my next destination, Glenrio, turned into ghost towns overnight.
So you can see.
This is Glenrio. It's a ghost town, except for one lady who lives here, Roxanne. The interstate bypassed Glenrio in 1973. There was 30 residents, and apparently it just completely died overnight. Go and have a wee word with her, I think. Hello, Roxanne. Billy Connolly. Nice to meet
Nice
you.
to meet you.
So this was your dad's gas station.
Yes.
Did you work here?
Oh, yes. All my siblings and I every summer. All the traffic would be lined up to the highway, both directions. Very, very busy.
Yeah.
Every island. He would have us go wash the windshields and check the oil so they'd be ready to just pump the gas
Yeah.
and keep them moving through. Texas Longhorn down there was the last to go.
What was that? What was the Texas Longhorn? The
It-
restaurant?
It was this.
Oh, it's a motel.
Yes, cafe, station, and motel.
Just over here.
Uh-huh.
It certainly isn't now. So how does it feel to live here all alone?
Well, I'm used to it. I'm fine with it. I like the peace
Yeah,
and
well, you got
quiet
plenty of
and-
dogs to keep you company anyway.
Right, right.
How many dogs have you got?
6.
They make the noise of 12.
Yeah, that sounds like more.
What made you decide to stay?
It's home.
Yeah. But don't you need other people around you to make it home?
Well, my daughter comes every chance she gets. My son stops by pretty often. And
Oh, that's great.
I like it here. I plan to stay as long as I'm able.
Yeah, why not? Why not? You could be the Lord Mayor as well, if you like.
Well, people tease me about that. I'm the mayor, the sheriff, and everything.
So they've only got one cow living there now.
Oh, looks like.
Be with you in a minute, sir. Madam. Yes. We have single rooms. Would suit you ideally.
Yeah, this was the station part, and the cafe over here.
Oh, there's a cafe here. Mm-hmm. Just to think that
cafe.
people swanning around here being happy, having cups of coffee and checking in for the night.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you get your groceries and all that?
I usually go to Amarillo, but for a short trip, if I don't have that much time, I'll go to Tucumcari. That's 40 miles.
So it's 40 miles, a short trip, 40 miles.
Right.
These people of Route 66, they never cease to amaze me. I mean, can you imagine driving 40 miles for a pint of milk?
Give a little bit of your love to me.
The last ghost of Glenrio, alone but not lonely. Not for me, you understand. But isn't the world just that wee bit better for her being there? Did you know the state motto for New Mexico is Land of Enchantment? And it really is. I'm absolutely beguiled. The state capital, Santa Fe, is a heady mixture of Anglo, Native American and Spanish cultures all mushed together in the most glorious light. It really is one of the most beautiful places in the States. And high up in the mountains overlooking Santa Fe is the town of Los Alamos. It's pretty, if you like that sort of thing. It's got public parks, blue skies, happy children.
Little boxes on the hillside, little boxes made of ticky-tacky, little boxes on the hillside, little boxes all the same.
And to look at, it's all quite unremarkable.
And a blue one and a yellow one.
But here's the thing. Los Alamos is a town of mystery, home to a huge government-funded research department. The town has more PhDs as residents than anywhere else in the world. And while people will tell you to have a nice day and mean it, there's an unspoken rule here. You can ask anyone's name, but you must never ask what they do for a living.
This is a nice wee rural setting with the sun pouring down on us and a nice wee log cabin behind us. But this is actually hell. This is where the atom bomb was made, Los Alamos, New Mexico. And it was born as a completely secret city.
Back in 1943, both the Allies and the Nazis were well aware that whoever could harness atomic energy as a weapon first would ultimately control the outcome of the war. Manhattan Project was born, and workers from all walks of life right across the States were instructed to pack their bags, leave their friends and family, and come to the secret town of Los Alamos.
Thousands of people worked here, but nobody knew that you couldn't write to them. If you wrote to them, it was to a post box in Santa Fe, 45 minutes down the road. You couldn't telephone them. Even their ID cards had no picture on it, so they got away with murder, you know. The police would say, oh, you're one of them atomics, and let them go. It was a total and absolute secret. And what they came up with was that great mushroom cloud, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and the Bikini Atoll, and all those famous ones now. There's a museum here to the place. They have pictures of parties, laughing and joking. Nobody seemed to realize just what they were creating. It's kind of weird. You can't imagine how people are leading an ordinary life. Because I've always felt, you see these programs about modern weapons, and you think, did the guy who invented them, did they go home and cuddle their children at night? And say, you sleep tight now and everything's fine. We have two guys here, Frank and Jack, who worked here when they were young men as a driver and a machinist. So I'm going to have a wee chat with them to see how it was to work in hell. Hello, guys. Billy Connolly.
Who am I?
Great.
Connolly, Frank Oswald.
You're Frank. You're Jack.
Jack Abbey.
Great. Can I sit here?
Yes, you may,
That's great.
if you behave.
I'll try my best to behave. It's funny being told to behave in a place where they made the atomic bomb. How did you feel about being part of manufacturing an atomic bomb? Did you know, for a start, that's what you were doing?
They came looking for machinists at the Ford Motor Company in Detroit, and about a dozen of us came out here. That's my Hungarian friend from Detroit. We came out here together.
You play guitar?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
They told us we would build something that might end the war. We didn't know for sure what it was.
Really?
But they did find out. And on the 16th of July 1945, the atom bomb was tested, and Frank and Jack were both there to witness it.
I went down there and I climbed the mountain, and we slept up there the night before and watched it that next morning.
You did?
So we looked down at it, and all of a sudden the flash went off. We saw the mushroom building up below us. And then I heard the sound come in later.
Who took the picture? You took the picture of the explosion?
Oh, I did. That thing.
That's your picture there?
That's it.
That is an extraordinary picture. So where did that take place?
Trinity, 200
South.
miles from here.
My God.
The cloud was almost 8 miles high, and Jack's amateur snap is the only colour picture in existence, and is now one of the most published photographs in the world.
That's extraordinary. How did you feel? Did it fill you with what? Fear or joy or horror?
It was quite an exciting experiment.
Because you must be one of the few people on Earth who have watched an atomic explosion for pleasure?
Right. Unofficially, from a high place.
I mean, there can't be many.
Well, speaking of pleasure there, that you watched the staff after it went up. Wow! Now
Yes.
you saw some pleasure.
Yes. Was anybody troubled with guilt that you knew? Because it seems
I
not.
would say a large number were that they had, previous to this, circulated petitions to not use the bomb aggressively, but to demonstrate its power at a deserted island someplace.
Yes.
And there were literally hundreds of signatures on that petition that never reached Roosevelt.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
No, his Secretary Burns, I believe it was, blocked it. He didn't want Roosevelt to see that.
Really?
But yes, there was guilt,
Yes.
and a lot of it.
I'm actually very glad to hear that. I mean, I'm not glad people felt guilty, but it would be deeply disturbing if everybody was overjoyed about it, wouldn't it?
I've understood what that would do.
Well, thank you very much for your time. It's been a real pleasure.
You're very welcome.
I'll be honest, I never thought Route 66 would bring me face to face with people involved with the first atom bomb. But what lovely guys. And what a thing to see a dawn of a new age. And if you look left and right, you can see to the end of the earth. It's an enormous place. Sounds silly to say an enormous place, but you can see for a fantastic distance, and the sky is immense, huge. My next stop, Albuquerque, has a population of 500,000, but still feels like a small town, albeit one with cowboys with handbags and lizards for pets.
If I leave here tomorrow.
Hi, Bob.
Hello, Billy.
Great to see you.
Nice to meet
Do you mind
you.
if I show my people around your snakes?
Please do. Make yourself at home. Enjoy yourself.
I know nothing, but I'm pretending to be an expert here,
Oh, I'm sure you are.
just like the rest of my life. Let's go have a look at some snakes. See if you can see it first. Well, it moved, it's giving you a hint. It's a mottled rattlesnake, there it is. Isn't that amazing the way it's covered by those stones? The colour, the camouflage. See if you can see him. Isn't that stunning camouflage? So you see where the rattle comes in handy. You would never see that in a month of Sundays. There's one rattling. See the rattle coming up? It was rattling a second ago. You see, they're the most convenient of snakes. It's the only reptile, the only snake that'll tell you that it's there. And when it rattles, it means it's scared. It'll be quiet until you're right almost on top of it, and then it'll go stay back, stay back. And if at that point you stop and make your way back slowly, you'll be okay. But if you move sharply, you deserve what you get. Well, you don't deserve what you get, but...
Oh, life could be a dream if I could take
The Rattlesnake Museum was fun. I'm not very fond of snakes, but I'm immensely fond of a snake that warns you that it's there.
sweetheart. Hello, hello again. Shaboom, and hope we'll meet again. Oh, life could be a dream. If only all my precious plans would come true.
But I'm back on the road again, and I've got 300 miles to cover to get to my next stop, Payson, Arizona.
Now every time
It's a long way, but the sun is shining, the roads are straight. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
shaboom, shaboom, yada da 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 da, shaboom, shaboom,
Yada-da-da-da-da-da-da, shaboom, shaboom. Yada-da-da-da-da-da-da.
That's my bike, and it's not well.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, what condition my condition was in.
In the last week, I've been lying in bed, a not well person. As you can see, there's a big hole in my jeans. Well, it's not just trendiness, that's a bandage. I busted up my knee and I broke a rib. I got my arse kicked on Route 66. I lost control of my trike, spun round, and the throttle jammed on. I had a special wee thing, a cruise control on my throttle, which I will never be using again. And I got stuck with it, my hand got stuck with it, and it went too fast, and I spun out of control and kind of somersaulted, and it bounced off me and broke my rib. Ambulance men came. Now this is a bit I love about America. They cut all my clothes off. Here's my t-shirt, look. That was my t-shirt. But then the bit I loved, 3 of the 5 ambulance men, or ambulance people, there was a woman there as well, were motorcyclists. And they cut my jacket off, this jacket, with big scissory things. But because they're motorcyclists, they understood. And they cut it up the seams. You can see where this bit's new here. The new material there. Well, that was cut up there. They cut it so it could be put together again, and it's been put together again magnificently. Isn't that a brilliantly thoughtful thing to do? That's what I love about America. They think about stuff like that.
You're so sweet, you're so fine. I want your all and everything just to be mine.
Thanks to my man of steel constitution and modern medicine's best painkillers, I'm back on the road. That's Connolly 1, Route 66, nil. Payson Rodeo, here I come. Woo-hee! If you're a wee boy in Britain, you grow up wanting to be one of 2 things, a rock star or a football player. In the Cowboy States, they do it differently. Here you grow up wanting to do the equivalent of both, rodeo. If you can hold on to a ton of muscle for 8 seconds or more, you can have it all, the money, the women, and the hero worship. But at what cost? And is it worth it?
So you've been having fun out this way?
Yeah, I've never been to a rodeo before.
Never? Oh,
Never.
well, you're in for a treat. This is a great rodeo here.
It is?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna have fun.
Oh, I
You
bet
want to ride a
do.
bull tonight, huh?
No, I don't.
Oh, you
I'd
sure?
like to eat one. You've
Well,
obviously,
we could probably
you've
do that.
obviously got my message mixed up.
First, we need to get on one, then we'll go eat one up at the
No, I've
Mazatlan.
seen you guys doing that to people before.
You know, I used
the
to-
old, the
I
old
used to
one,
fight bulls.
the old one glove trick. Try it on.
Yeah, I used to fight bulls for 30 years, and then 3 broken necks later, I had to quit. The thing about it is 1,700 pounds. It's amazing how cat-like they are for as big as they are, because they're not a dumb animal. They get very smart.
Yes.
So after a while, if he fights you and he fights your cameraman there and he fights me and fights her, and he's seen his trick, his trick, his trick, his trick. Pretty soon it's like climbing in the ring with Muhammad Ali. You know, they get real smart in a hurry. Pretty soon, when you think you're wanting to go here, he's already set you up over here, you know. And now what are you going to do? Oh, yeah, they get, you know.
Your move was great there.
And they have intent, yes, sir. The further that he gets you pushed out and the more that he doesn't stay bent like this and he gets you out here, then he's got that room to come and gather you, and that's when they knock you as high as a telephone pole there.
But that's so interesting.
Yeah, I've got to get some stuff together.
Great.
If I can
What
help
a
anything,
joy
you holler
talking
at
to
me.
you. Oh, that was so educational. Yeah.
This is a hard life. You travel hundreds of miles from town to town, then you have to pay to compete. And if you don't win, you don't get paid. It really is a hand-to-mouth existence. So why do it?
Beats the shit out of a real job.
You bet it does. You see, most people take up cycling, and driving cars.
That's a little boring. Not dangerous enough.
And other things that you don't have to feed.
Hello.
Okay.
How are you?
I'll let.
Are you competing?
Yes, I am.
What are you doing?
I'm running barrels, but I'm also the Scottsdale Rodeo Queen.
You're the Stockdale Rodeo Queen?
Yes, so I
How do you-
what's that?
How do you achieve that?
It's a pageant, so it's like
Oh,
Miss
so it's because you're
America with
beautiful.
a cowboy hat on.
Yeah, and you do the barrel stuff.
I do.
That's sensational to watch.
You want to try it?
No, I don't.
I'll let you get on.
No, thanks. No, I love to watch you doing it. I like the way you take the corners.
Yeah,
I can't believe it's possible to keep your horse balanced and do that.
just ride it like you stole it.
So what's your specialty? Barrel riding?
Probably barrel racing, yeah. We rope a little bit too.
And
but-
you-
Barrel race mostly, but we rope.
You rope?
Oh yeah, we rope. I actually am a world champion team roper, women.
Get out of
For
here.
women. Yeah, yeah. No,
You
no,
are?
Get out yourself, yeah.
World champion. I don't meet many world champions. Can I say you have?
Me either.
But I was second.
Reserve.
I came in as close.
Oh, second. Second in the world.
Yes.
I think that's pretty neat.
It was pretty good. It was a
But
lot
please
of
turn
fun.
round. I want to see your shirt. Now that is a shirt. As time goes on, you start picking up on something. Everyone is saying less and less. It's getting tense. And that's when you realize that this is showbiz, but not as we know it. Oh my God! I know a few bouncers in Glasgow who would excel at this.
5 years old.
5 years of age. My God. Oh my God. What are they thinking about? Those rodeo folk, they're either heroically insane or insanely heroic. I really just can't make up my mind which. I'm making another detour, 150 miles north to the ancient and sacred home of the Navajo Indians, Monument Valley. It's a place I've dreamt of coming to since I was a wee boy going to cowboy movies, but nothing has prepared me for seeing it for the first time. And I don't think the painkillers are talking. This place really is monumental. Well, this is even better than I imagined it would be. No wonder they look on it as spiritually great. It's a funny thing, you know, when you see this kind of structure, you always think of time. You know, it's been here for millions of years. And it lets you know that you're here but for a little second or two. You're just a little blip on the screen compared to them. The most remarkable thing about Monument Valley is how familiar it is. You think you've known it all your life, because you've been sitting as a wee boy at the movies in Glasgow watching this John Wayne riding around in here. It is the most extraordinary place. This view here, I can't look at that without hearing music. My God, the number of times I rode through here when I was a child. I'd come out of the cinema and ride home on my horse up Highland Street. smacking my own backside. Did you ever do that? After seeing a Western movie, run home doing that? It's extraordinary the power that it's exerted on us over the years, isn't it? But this place, I wish you were here, I wish you could see it. But you must never forget it's also a very sacred place to the Navajo. They've lived here for centuries.
But Monument Valley is far more than the setting of 100 boyhood fantasies. To the Navajo, this is a sacred land, and they've lived here thousands of years. And while they're keen to embrace many of modern life's conveniences, there are some things like medicine and magic they still have faith in. So I'm putting myself in the hands of a real Navajo medicine man to see if he can do what modern medicine can't and mend my broken rib.
I know nothing about the ceremony. The guy seems very nice. He speaks very little English. It's almost pure Navajo. And he's going to, I feel very privileged to be allowed to be part of it, you know. So here goes. Incidentally, you won't be seeing the ceremony, all of it. You'll see some of it until he said there's part of it he won't allow to be filmed in any way. It's very private and personal. It's not, I mean, we don't get naked or anything like that, but just he doesn't believe in sharing it with the world. It's theirs, and that'll do me.
The medicine man's got sacred stones and things with special powers. He's going to use this feather to send a message back to where I crashed and cool the earth down. The crystal is like a prehistoric X-ray machine, and by looking into it, he should be able to see my fractured bone. The fire is made using cedar chips. It smells good, and the smoke is a libation. The whistle is kind of annoying, really. It's easy to be glib about this stuff when you're looking at it from the outside, but sitting here right in the middle of the magic is a mind bender. Notions of time and place really do start to shift. It's humbling and deeply spiritual. And what did they put in that fucking pipe?
Yo.
But ho-hum, the magic must go on.
Skits that you have. But son, I baking the shit all little. Later up it all little.
An hour later, and the drummers have arrived. The ceremony is drawing to a close.
Hand it horse.
Thank you. Bill, you're all healed up and ready to roll again.
And just like that, it's over.
Hold back the night from us. Cherish the life for us.
I love all that stuff, you know. And it's not a question of whether you believe it or give yourself to it. It's you're in the company of people who do believe it, and that is the whole cheese for me. And it's all done with a real sincerity that I don't find with Western stuff. And it was a joy, an absolute joy. I'm really glad I did it. I must say my rib feels no different from what it did yesterday. But maybe it would have felt worse if he didn't. I tell you boys, it's heaven, just riding down the trail. just to watch that desert sun go down. Just to watch that desert sun go down. We're all cowboys now.